Behind me here is one of the best cars Nissan has ever made. Took all the best parts of the R32 GTR and revved it up to 8,000 RPMs. I'm Ari from Boost Life, and today we have a 1995 Nissan Skyline R33 GTR. Is this the best GTR ever made? The R32 GTR had uplift and handling issues at high speeds, and Nissan sought to fix those issues with this car right here. So they added a longer wheelbase paired with a widened track and this adjustable rear spoiler that we have here. Next, they sought to remove all weight possible wherever possible, and that led them to produce a car that was the first production car to run a sub 8-minute lap at the Nürburgring. One of the best things about being into cars is the ability and freedom to modify cars however you like or however your wallet allows. This R33 right here has some very tasteful mods. Starting up with this V-spec lip in the front. It's sitting on HKS coilovers, these beautiful work emotion wheels, these really pretty top secret side skirts, and the V-spec rear spats. The heart of the beast is the legendary RB26 engine. This engine is notorious for its reliability and ability to handle high horsepower. The engine was designed in a time where Japanese engineers were able to overspend and over-engineer these engines, so that once aftermarket tuners got their hands on these engines, they were able to make high horsepower numbers and handle that high horsepower. This specific R33 is just full bolt-ons. You're looking at intake, exhaust, charge pipes. The interior of this car is fitted with this Tomei Racing 3-spoke steering wheel, these white AAR seats. One of my favorite parts of the interior is the OEM Skyline gauges, the 3 gauges. It makes me feel like I'm in a fighter jet or something. It's absolutely sick. The interior of this car is fitted with Carrozzeria rear speakers. I never heard of the company before, but I think they look pretty cool. They look very period correct and period accurate, and I'm sure that's where they're from. Finally, we have this HKS EVC, which allows you to check on the boost pressure while you're driving. So now that we're in the car, you're probably wondering what it's like to drive. The first thing I want to share with you is what it sounds like, actually. Actually pretty quiet. The exhaust isn't super loud and you can still hear the turbo. The brakes are fine. It's a big car though. Handles great. Diving into the steering feel of this car, first of all, the Tomei 3-spoke is fantastic. It's a great size. Most of the cars that I reviewed, I feel like the steering wheels have been just too big, and this is, obviously this is aftermarket, but this is the perfect size steering wheel for this car. For the weight, it handles fantastic. These HKS coilovers do the car so much justice, and these Continental tires also communicate where the car is at all times very, very well. As far as pivoting the weight around, again, this car is, you know, iconic for track records, track driving. The R33 was the first production car to get sub 8 minutes in the Nürburgring. It handles great. There's no way around it. It handles great for a car that weighs this much. It feels fantastic, and I have complete trust in taking a car like this to the track. When I would drive a R33, whether it's on my sim or in a video game, or GTRs in general, to me they always seem so heavy. And they're known as this iconic car that is such a great handling behemoth. And now that I'm in one and I get behind the wheel and I feel the weight and I feel how it handles, it drives fantastic. And this is no light car. This is a heavy car for what it is. You're looking at easily over 3,000 pounds, and it doesn't feel like it in the corners. It handles it very, very well. The handling of this car is absolutely fantastic. The coilers did this car a very nice ride quality. It's not too harsh, it's not too soft, it rides just right. The steering is almost perfect for a car this weight, and that's thanks to Nissan's Hikis rear steering system. The all-wheel drive in this car is great. We haven't done any like hard launches or anything, but helps the car handle very, very well. I'm sure that if we were in the rain or, you know, another environment where all-wheel drive was needed, it would really shine. Other than that, I think the car handles the weight very, very well. I think the car drives great for how heavy it is, and I love it. Big fan. This car is very comfortable to drive every day. Like, as far as manual car goes, I got plenty of leg room. I'm comfortable. The clutch isn't heavy. It's just nice. It really is. I can imagine myself as a Japanese businessman in the 90s who spent, you know, their bread on Nissan's latest offering. Okay, and I see it. I can definitely see with some light mods, you really wake up certain aspects of this car, and it makes it very, very nice. It makes it a pleasure to drive and a pleasure to be in. It lives up to the hype. It really does. And I'm really, really happy about that, because I'm a fucking nerd. I fucking love cars. And this is one of the cars, and it lives up to the hype for me. It really, really does. And I'm really happy about that. We're doing some B-roll shots, and I had these group of kids in a Mustang like flip out when they saw the Skyline, and it just goes to show, like, this is such an iconic car. And I mean, you have 3 kids like driving, and they have their phones out the window like, yo, rev it, please. Like, you know, it makes me happy to do something like this. It makes me happy that I'm able to share, you know, this with the world, share this with fellow car enthusiasts. You know, it's a blast. This car is full bolt-ons. You're looking at about 350 horsepower, and it goes to a power band super well. You're able to run through it super easily. It's a good amount of power to work with. It's not a crazy amount of horsepower. When this car came out, we were looking at around 300 horsepower. You're looking at 276 horsepower when it came out. And what we have now is a little bit more than that, a little bit more than stock. And for this car, it's fine. You hear everybody wants these big power numbers, and these engines can handle it, but it's just not the way. I think with this kind of car, that 350 horsepower is plenty. It's plenty to work with. Going through the gears of this R33, the transmission has a very nice notchiness to it. It's not as notchy as like a Z3M Roadster would be, or that era of BMW would be. It's actually just as I thought it would be like. I've ridden shotgun in a few of these cars, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be like. It's a certain amount of notchiness. It's not too notchy. I really do like the feeling of this transmission. The clutch, again, we're not pushing too much power here, so the clutch is also not super heavy. It's a good amount of weight to it. A little bit heavier than, for example, my Fiesta ST, but a little bit lighter than like a Hellcat. The reason why this car is so important to American car enthusiasts like myself is because it's like forbidden fruit. It wasn't sold in the US, and it wasn't legally allowed to come here until just a few years ago. You know, you have a whole generation of car enthusiasts who grew up playing Gran Turismo and Forza, and they've never seen this car in person. They've never seen any GTR except for the R35 in person. And to be able to sit in one or drive around and people who know what this car is see it and freak out over it is such an exciting experience to have in this car. It really shows that this car is so iconic and so important to car culture and car history. And I'm glad to share that experience with you guys and people that we see driving around who are like, oh my god, that's so sick, or oh my god, it's a Skyline, that's sick. It's just an awesome experience and it puts a huge smile on my face. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Unfortunately, we do have to give this car back to the Group Automotive. Huge shout out to them for letting us borrow their car for the day. Drive one of my dream cars. I'm very happy about that. Let us know in the comments what your favorite generation GTR is. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. I love you.